The dispositions that I possess that I think will make me a successful teacher are building positive relationships, embracing diversity in all things, and communicating my expectations and goals positively. I also possess the ability of including others while creating goals, showing dedication, and having respect for others as well as myself. I'm always seeking and using the feedback that I receive. I'm also always an honest person, and I support others very well. I'm a very trustworthy person, and I think that will be very useful as a teacher. While I have never been any kind of teacher, I used these skills as a leader in high school as well as while I was working. I was the lead hostess at my old job, so I was in charge of creating the goals for the evening, but I always included the other hosts to get their input. When I did Disney princess parties, I always had to communicate the expectations of the little kids during the party. Like, not touching the princess's hair because the fairy godmother would get upset if it got messed up, when in reality it was because the wig was very fragile. I was on both choir council and theater council during high school, so I was constantly building positive relationships with people, whether they were director, community member, or even just a peer. Before entering a classroom as a first-year teacher, I think I need to work on being able to guide students through the problem-solving process. I've always tried to avoid problems and not get involved, so I think I need to work on being able to help students find a way to fix their issues. I've always been somebody who would try to solve their own problems before trying to help someone else figure out theirs, which is something that I need to change by the time I enter a classroom. I need to work on being transparent in my decision-making process because I'm a very indecisive person, so I need to be able to make a decision and just stick with it. I also need to work on making time for reflection. I want to set aside time each and every day at the same exact time to go over and reflect on how my day went. I want to be able to think of what happened and what areas I could improve my skills in. A professional educator should display the qualities of patience, having expectations for their students, coworkers, and themselves. They should have respect for others as well as themselves, and they must have an understanding for diversity as well as having compassion for their coworkers and their students. They should always be looking professional, which means that they should be dressed appropriately and be prepared for anything that could happen during the school day. They should always be on time and dedicated to their work. They must be dedicated to the subject that they are teaching and find a way to make their students interested in what they will be learning about each and every day. Educators need to be able to form a connection with their students, be approachable, and build caring relationships with superior listening skills. An educator should be able to form a positive relationship with their students' parents. The parents must feel like they trust the teacher and must be able to tell them what's going on with their student if it's necessary. Students should feel like they can tell their teacher anything and not worry about judgment. Educators should always encourage their students to come to them for help and if they have any questions at any time of any day.